The News 4 Rundown starts now.
And welcome in, everybody. I'm Jim Adley. It's Tuesday, July 21st, and here's a look at some of the stories we're following for you tonight. Coming up, a former Marine nearly killed after being shot in his home faced yet another traumatic, life-threatening event. More on the veteran's courageous fight, plus an ongoing debate over how we tell America's story. Smithsonian leaders say they're trying to give a more complete view of our country. So why is the White House labeling them radical activists? Then in the aftermath of the World Cup, a new face is coming to D.C. United. Our Moises Linares introduces us to Nathan Ordaz as he prepares to take the pitch here in D.C. But first up tonight, we are in weather alert mode. If you've looked out your window or been following us all day today, rain is coming down across our region. Some areas have even been under tornado warnings this evening, and all of us under a severe thunderstorm watch. We still have a few hours left until these storms roll out of here, and Chief Meteorologist Doug Kammerer is tracking it all for us tonight. Doug?
Yeah, Jim, we've really been hit hard in some areas. Others, like D.C. South, haven't been hit hard at all, but now starting to see some rain in D.C. But look back to the west. This line of storms, severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing right now into areas like Frederick County, Clark County, Warren County, Shenandoah County, Page County now under a severe thunderstorm warning. And we have had numerous tornado warnings with this line as well in through West Virginia and into Frederick County, Virginia a little bit earlier. Let's do a couple of zooms and show you what's happening. First off, you see what's happening in through parts of Loudoun County. Very strong storm here moving right towards Leesburg and then moving into an area that's already seen very heavy rain today. And we do have a flash flood warning in effect for parts of Montgomery County. Get to that in a second. Right now, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Winchester, Stevens City, just north of Front Royal. You can see the lightning associated with this storm moving off toward the east. And then this storm right around Bluemont over towards Leesburg. So heads up here. The warning for this one, I want to take the radar off so you can see where it is. Right over Winchester, again, just north of Front Royal right now. This severe thunderstorm warning going until 8 o'clock tonight, and that new warning for Page County and Shenandoah County going until about 8 o'clock tonight. Now, back to the west, or back to the east, we're looking at this. Notice this box right here. This is a flash flood warning, including areas like Laytonsville. This goes until 10 o'clock tonight, and a lot of rain continuing in this area. We always say it, turn around, don't drown. If you come across any flooded roadways, watch out there. Again, farther back to the west around Leesburg, heads up there, but this is just starting. We've got what's going on back here. This is a line of showers and thunderstorms that's now working its way towards the area. May not move through, the strongest of which may not move through for another 1 to 2 hours into the D.C. metro area. And there's still potential for some tornadoes with these, Jim, as we see these work their way through the rest of the area. We'll talk about what to expect for the rest of tonight and the fact that we have another chance for severe weather tomorrow, too, for some of us, coming up in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you then, Doug. Thank you. A 6-year-old boy is in the hospital tonight after he nearly drowned on the campus of the University of the District of Columbia. His name is Adonis Jackson, and his family shared his pictures with us today. He nearly drowned yesterday while attending a soccer summer camp at UDC. According to a police report obtained by News 4, children attending that camp were allowed to go into a swimming pool when no lifeguard was on duty. News 4's Jessica Albert spoke to the attorney representing the little boy's family.
This is a photo of 6-year-old Adonis Jackson shared with News 4 by his family's attorney, Dominique Calhoun.
He's playful, he's joyful, he's loved by his siblings, his parents, his godmother. He is appreciated around the house.
Calhoun says this week Adonis was attending a Nike soccer camp, which is being operated by a company called U.S. Sports Camps on the campus of the University of D.C. when he nearly drowned. According to a UDC police report obtained by News 4, UDC police received a report of a 6-year-old child who had been found unresponsive at the bottom of the swimming pool at Building 47 on campus around 1 p.m. on Monday. When officers arrived, D.C. police, fire, and EMS were already there rendering aid to Adonis on the pool deck. Here's dispatch audio from the incident.
UDC Van Ness campus, CPR progress, someone pulled out of the pool. They now report the person's breathing.
The report states that children participating in the camp have been permitted to enter the swimming pool at the end of each day's camp activities. The field being used for the camp is next to Building 47, which houses the pool. Several witnesses were interviewed on scene, including the camp's coaches and counselors. The report states that one of the counselors told police he immediately entered the water in an attempt to rescue the child, but was unable to remove him because the child was, quote, too heavy. The report then states another member of the camp staff removed Adonis from the pool. He was taken to Children's Hospital.
Adonis had been underwater by all reports for more than 2 minutes. And unfortunately, when they arrived, there was the belief that he wasn't going to make it. I'm happy to say that Adonis is currently in stable condition. However, his road to recovery is long at this point.
Calhoun says Adonis has been intubated and sedated. He's being monitored around the clock.
There are so many things that happen when your brain is deprived of oxygen that could cause a number of complications.
According to the police report, about 30 children were in the pool and the lifeguard was on his lunch break at the time of the incident. News 4 reached out to UDC to ask if the children entered the pool before or after the lifeguard took a break. That is still unclear. We asked UDC several other questions about what led up to the incident. We received a statement back that says, "We were deeply saddened to learn that a participant in the Nike soccer summer camp, which utilizes the UDC athletic complex, was injured yesterday. Emergency responders from UDC Police and DC Fire and EMS were contacted, and the participant was transported to the hospital for treatment. Our thoughts are with him and his family, and we wish him a full and speedy recovery." Adonis's family attorney also has questions about how this could happen.
How could this happen? How could you allow 30 kids in a pool to go unwatched? How could you allow for a kid to be at the bottom of a pool for 2 minutes? I mean, for anybody watching, I want you to think about how long 2 minutes is to be underwater.
When we were on campus today, it appeared that the Nike soccer camp was still going on. We reached out to the company that is hosting the camp, U.S. Soccer Camps, by phone for additional information. We were told they could not give us any because the incident is under investigation by UDC and because children are involved. In the district, Jessica Albert, News 4.
Other stories we're following for you tonight. An 18-year-old actor best known for her role in the movie Godzilla vs. Kong was killed overnight in a crash in Frederick, Maryland. The sheriff's office says around 3 this morning, Kaylee Huddle was in a car driven by a 19-year-old man when it veered off the road and hit a culvert. The driver survived. Investigators believe excessive speed played a part in the crash. Kaylee lives in Texas. We don't know why she was here in Maryland. Police are still searching for the driver accused of killing a Montgomery County woman in a hit-and-run crash last month. This happened on Crestmore Drive and Colesville Road in Silver Spring, June 19th. Investigators say an SUV hit her and took off. Police say they're looking for a dark-colored Lexus RX, the model between 2009 and 14. There's a $20,000 reward for information that leads to the driver's arrest. The U.S. Army private shot by mistake near the White House in May says he plans to sue the Secret Service for negligence. Benjamin Del Real was hit in the abdomen and critically wounded. He's now recovering after 2 surgeries. Multiple sources tell News 4 Secret Service officers hit Del Real as they tried to stop another man who was firing at them outside a White House checkpoint. The district is honoring police officer Terry Bennett on what would have been his 33rd birthday. Bennett was hit by a vehicle 2 days before Christmas last year while helping a stranded driver on I-695. He died from his injuries 2 weeks later. Family and friends will gather on Saturday to celebrate his life. 3 years ago, we first told you about Jeremy Timone and his inspirational story of survival. The military veteran shot sniper style by a virtual stranger firing into his Fairfax County home. The wound should have killed him, but Jeremy's will to live was strong. Now, Julie Carey has his final chapter. Heartbreaking, but still an example of incredible courage.
Here's where it happened. You got 1, 2, 3 was over here. The 4th one I can't find.
It was October of 2017 when 4 bullets from an assault rifle ripped through the window of Jeremy Timon's Franconia area townhome. The U.S. Marine and Army veteran was in a coma for weeks, in the hospital for months. Fairfax County Detective John Long was assigned the mysterious case.
We were basically waiting for him to die when this case first happened.
But even though he lost a portion of his brain, his intestines gone, his stomach torn up, Jeremy survived.
God talked to me in my coma. He said, do you want to live or die? And in that moment, in that question, I had all the things I haven't accomplished in my life flash before my face in the blink of an eye, and I said, live. And then I woke up from the coma.
For Detective Long, there were frequent visits to the hospital as Jeremy recovered and underwent multiple surgeries. Their relationship deepened as the detective worked to find the shooter.
But to see him be able to pull through out of what we thought was the impossible, it was just so, inspiring. His will to live is something I will never see again.
After years of painstaking work, investigators identified the shooter and his motive. An active-duty Navy man, Jae-Young Lee, was stalking an ex-girlfriend who was a friend of Jeremy's. He opened fire when she visited Jeremy's home. In January of 2024, Lee was sentenced to life in prison.
That was 6.5 years of weight lifted, and the appropriate close of this chapter, this horrific chapter of my life.
With the case behind him, Jeremy set his sights on a multi-organ transplant so he could eat normally again. His severe internal injuries meant his nutrition came only from liquid infusions. His parents relocating from Florida to help care for him.
That was always on the forefront of his mind, was getting to this place where he could have this surgery. Jeremy, he wanted a better quality of life.
So in March, the time had come. This was Jeremy's social media post as he was prepped for an expected 12-hour surgery, writing in part, I have so many mixed emotions, some positive, some not so much. My biggest worry is not waking up after they knock me out. If that does happen, I certainly hope I get to have another conversation with God before he takes me. This is Jeremy Timon signing off. I love you all. Long says in a conversation right before the procedure, he and Jeremy kept it light.
We were talking about how we were looking forward to sitting down and having a meal together once the surgery was over. And Jeremy, he knew there were risks, but he wanted to take that chance.
Jeremy passed away during the procedure. Long writing a eulogy for his service.
The way that I look at it is he kind of went out on his own terms. He could have stayed the path that he was on, but he was courageous enough to want more, to take it a step further, to improve his quality of life for himself and for his parents. It wasn't the suspect's terms, it was nobody else's terms, but it was on his terms.
Jeremy's family will make one final trip to Virginia in the coming months, here to Arlington Cemetery, where he'll be laid to rest. Reporting for News 4, I'm Julie Carey.
Julie, thank you. The News 4 Rundown will be right back, but first let's check in with Doug once more. Doug?
Yeah, Jim, we got some heavy rain that's going to continue to work its way back in across the area. D.C. has seen some rain over the last hour or so, but now we got all of this to go, and even a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings right now for Frederick County as well as Clark and Warren County. And then back to the west, Hardee County as well as Shenandoah County under a tornado warning right now, and another severe thunderstorm warning as well, and a brand new tornado warning just showing up for Rockingham County as well as southern portions of Shenandoah County. These storms are moving in towards northern Virginia. I'll be tracking them for you when we come right back. We'll talk more about what to expect for the rest of the night and the rest of your week.
Debate over telling America's story took center stage on Capitol Hill today. The head of the Smithsonian's American History Museum defended the institution's mission to present a complete history of our country. That comes after the White House issued a report back on July 4th labeling the museum's leadership as, quote, radical activists who can't be trusted. Investigative reporter Tracy Wilkins has been following changes being made at our national museums and parks under this administration.
Well, Athea Hartich is the first woman to hold the position of director of the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History since the museum opened in 1964. Today, she was grilled before the House Oversight Subcommittee on allegations of promoting social activism over history. Republican members on the subcommittee accused the museum of politicizing history, eliminating traditional narratives, and focusing some exhibits on gender, sexuality, and social justice. Democrats pushed back, saying the museum's exhibits showcase the diversity of American history. Hartage defended its mission. Here's some of what was said today.
The museum does not take sides in America's political debates. We preserve and document the evidence of American life in all of its breadth, so that the public can encounter the past and draw their own conclusions.
But the museum has strayed, I believe, from the original purpose for which it exists and receives federal taxpayer support. I feel like it's become infected by a woke ideology that's seeped into public displays, educational materials, and planning documents. The American story is the birth and growth of a great nation founded on powerful ideals on which we aim to fully achieve. But in the museum's current telling, history is just an ongoing power struggle between oppressors and the oppressed.
The recent report by the White House Domestic Policy Council is nothing less than a declaration of political war on the historian's profession, as well as on the freedom and curiosity of anyone who reads or visits museums. In other words, President Trump has declared war on free minds and free education.
We will not let you destroy that museum, no matter how long it takes, how many battles are required, how much effort is needed. We will not allow that to happen unless you find a way to kill all of us and walk over our bodies to change history. That history is too sacred, it is too precious, and it will not be erased.
Today's hearing is just the latest in President Trump's efforts to reshape how stories are told by cultural institutions, museums, and parks controlled by the federal government. Much of the focus has been on purging diversity, equity, and inclusion elements from those narratives. And as you all remember, we just recently did a report on how everyday citizens are so concerned about the changes that are coming to our parks, and also the Smithsonian, that they have taken it upon themselves to document what's inside of the Smithsonian right now as a part of citizens historians for the Smithsonian. And they have been doing this work to just capture what's being said about our history, science, even climate change right now in the museums, for fear of something like this happening.
Tracy, thank you. Let's get another look at our weather alert right now. I'm watching that big board over there, Doug, that you've been watching all afternoon. It is still a mess.
It really is. In areas that have not gotten hit yet, your turn is coming right now. We have downtown's getting some rain out there right now, but the heaviest stuff is coming in about an hour or so. Wow. Right now, it's back to the west, in towards areas like Winchester, Leesburg, seeing some of that heaviest rain. Right now, our Reston Tower cam showing the rain around Reston. There's a little bit of lightning out there for you as well, but there's a very strong storm just west, northwest of Reston right now. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Loudoun County. 78 degrees currently. We hit a high of 92 earlier with a feels like temperature of 100. So we have the heat, we have the humidity, we have the fuel for these storms, and now we got these thunderstorms, and we've got numerous warnings going on right now across the region. First of all, take a look at these storms working their way in. The yellows, reds, oranges, those are the heaviest areas of rain, making their way towards Warrenton, towards Winchester, again towards Leesburg as well, and in toward the district. Let's go ahead and zoom on in. Look at all the lightning right around Leesburg right now. And once again, let's go ahead and zoom on in. Brand new tornado warning, by the way. I'm looking at these as they come out. Tornado warning in effect. This is Shenandoah County. So Shenandoah County right along I-81 here. That tornado warning most likely going until about 8:15. So heads up in that area. And this storm continues to move off to the east. Then we've got storms in towards the Winchester area, in towards Leesburg. Once again, this storm really just blossomed and has a ton of lightning associated with it, moving through Leesburg, through Ashburn, right over towards areas just south of Poolesville. This is going to move towards Sterling over the next half hour or so. Here's the current warnings. We've got 1, 2, 3 different tornado warnings in towards Shenandoah County and back to the west, including Hardee County, West Virginia. Then we have severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Clark County, Warren County, Loudoun County, and Fauquier County. That going until 8:30, and then this warning right here going until 8:30 or 8:15, I believe, in through Loudoun County and parts of Montgomery County. And then you get to this. This color right here is actually a flash flood warning. And look how many flash flood warnings we've got back to the west. I think we will see more flash flood warnings this evening. Why? Well, because look at all of this rain coming down. The heaviest rain right now is around Leesburg, but even where you have that box around Laytonsville, more rain falling in that area. please remember, turn around, don't drown. We're going to have a lot of flooded roadways, I think, as this storm system continues to work its way through. Here it is right here. Look at all of the lightning associated with this. And this is all coming through Northern Virginia right now, right on through the district. I think some locations picking up close to 3 inches of rain before this is all said and done, maybe more as we work our way through the rest of the evening. And then we've got more storms to the north and west. We're going to have a chance for some severe weather tomorrow, too, mostly south and east of D.C. I mean, areas like southern Maryland, the northern neck, areas like Fredericksburg as well, could see those storms making their way on in here. So once again, heads up around Gaithersburg, heads up in through Leesburg right now. I'm not seeing rotation with this storm, but there is some strong winds associated with that. And then, of course, back to the west where we have those numerous tornado warnings, continuing to watch those as well. If you're around Luray, this is a very strong storm moving towards Page County right now. So heads up in that location as well. Okay, next couple of hours or next couple of days, tomorrow we have a chance of severe weather south and east of D.C., but most of us actually look pretty good. And by tomorrow evening, we're looking great. Look at Thursday. Friday, a fantastic Friday, high of 81. Saturday looking amazing, 83 degrees. Sunday looking great, a high of 86. We do get to 90 on Monday. That's back around average. Actually, our average temperatures are starting to fall back into the upper 80s, and that's exactly where we'll be next week. So, Jim, we're not talking intense heat. Today, It's all about the rain. Really good idea right now. Kind of just, hunker down. Stay indoors if you don't have to go anywhere. Good idea not to, because I do think over the next few hours we're going to see a lot of flooding around parts of our area.
All right, we'll see you tonight at 11.
I'll be there.
If not before.
Yeah.
Doug, thank you. We'll be right back. DC United is hoping a new player will be a star that fans can get behind as play resumes after the World Cup break. Our Moises Ladares has his story.
Following the World Cup break, DC United is ready for the second half of the season with new signings that include 22-year-old Salvadoran-American Nathan Ordaz, considered among the most promising young players in Major League Soccer. Nathan grew up in L.A., came up with LAFC. Now he's made the cross-country move to DC, trying to take the next step in his career.
I wanted to put more pressure on myself. I wanted to have a bigger role and help a team in a bigger way for myself, just to prove to myself, but also to help my career and move forward. And my goal is to hopefully play in Europe one day, and I just feel like I can have a great chance of doing that here. And I want to help this team win. I want to change that culture, start making playoffs every year, start fighting for trophies as best as I can.
There's a lot of excitement of you joining DC United. Huge Salvadoran community. After Los Angeles, this is the second largest one. How important is it for you to know that you're going to have the support from the fan base that's already talking about your arrival in the nation's capital on social media?
Yeah, it's huge. I think it'll be a way to feel like home in a way. If I'm used to having all that support, it makes it feel like home a little bit quicker. So yeah, it'll help me get accustomed, and just to know that I have that support behind me, it's just going to help me play better as well and be confident.
What should the fans know about you, the soccer player and the person?
Yeah, that I like to win is one, and I hold high expectations for myself and for the team I'm at as well, and I'm not here to waste time.
DC United returns from World Cup break Wednesday night in Houston against the Dynamo. Moises Linares, News 4 Sports.
Thanks, Moises. And that's going to do it for the News 4 Rundown on this Tuesday night. Be sure to join us right back here for News 4 at 11. For now, I'm Jim Hadley. Keep safe out there, everybody, during this weather. We'll see you right back here at 11. Have a good night.